Most people believe they are afraid of pain, but the truth is your brain is not afraid of pain. It is afraid of not knowing what comes next. Think about that for a moment. You have stayed in situations that hurt you, a job that drained you, a relationship that slowly broke you, a routine that was going nowhere. And even when a part of you knew it was wrong, you stayed. You did not stay because you were weak. You stayed because your brain made a calculated decision. Known suffering felt safer than unknown freedom. This is not a flaw in your character. This is how the human brain is wired. The brain has one primary function above all others: survival. And to survive, it needs to predict what happens next. Uncertainty to the brain is not just uncomfortable, it is dangerous. When the brain cannot predict an outcome, it goes into threat mode. The same system that once protected early humans from predators now activates when you think about quitting your job, ending a toxic relationship, or starting something new. The brain does not ask, "Is this situation good for me?" It asks, "Is this situation familiar to me?" Familiarity is mistaken for safety. This is why people return to the same painful patterns. This is why you go back to people who hurt you. This is why you keep choosing the same kind of suffering over and over in different forms. Because at least that suffering has a shape your brain recognizes. Psychologists call this the negativity bias combined with loss aversion. Your brain gives more weight to losing something known than to gaining something unknown. The pain you already have feels like something you can manage. The life you could have feels like a gamble your brain refuses to take. There is a term in psychology called the comfort zone, but most people misunderstand it. The comfort zone is not a place where you feel comfortable. It is a place where your brain feels in control, even if that control comes at the cost of your happiness, your growth, or your potential. People who grew up in unpredictable environments, homes where emotions were unstable, where love was inconsistent, where safety was never guaranteed, often develop an even stronger attachment to familiar suffering in adulthood. Because for them, chaos was the norm. And the brain learned early that you cannot trust calm. You cannot trust good things. Because good things were always followed by something breaking. So the brain does what it was trained to do. It finds suffering that feels familiar and holds on to it. Not because it wants to destroy you, but because it genuinely believes it is protecting you. Understanding this changes something fundamental in how you see yourself. You are not broken because you stayed too long. You are not weak because you keep going back. You are not stupid because you chose pain over possibility. You were running on a survival program written long before you had any say in it. But here is what matters now. Awareness interrupts the program. The moment you understand that your brain prefers the familiar over the good, you can start to question its logic. You can sit with uncertainty without immediately running back to what is known. You can recognize the pull toward familiar suffering and choose to stay in the discomfort of the unknown just a little longer than before. That is not a small thing. That is the beginning of genuine change. The brain can be retrained. Not quickly, not easily, but it can be done. Every time you tolerate uncertainty without collapsing, you build new evidence for your brain. Evidence that the unknown is survivable, that calm can be trusted, that good things do not always have to end in destruction. The suffering you keep choosing is not your destiny. It is your default, and defaults can be changed. Most people will never question why they keep suffering. They will call it bad luck or fate or just the way life is. But you are watching this because something in you already senses the truth, that the life you keep avoiding might be the one you were always meant to live. The question is not whether you can handle uncertainty. The question is whether you are willing to let your brain find out.